Blessings to you, beautiful soul. The angels wrap their wings around you right now, in this very moment, as you read these words. You are seen. You are held. You are loved beyond what your human mind can fully understand. Welcome to Angel's Message for You channel, a sacred space created just for hearts like yours. Hearts that are brave enough to feel deeply, to love fully, and to keep believing even when the silence feels overwhelming. Before you go anywhere, I need you to stay right here with me, because what the angels are about to reveal to you today is something your heart has been quietly waiting to hear for a very long time. There is a truth unfolding around your love life right now, and if you leave before the end, you will miss the part that changes everything. So take a breath, settle in, and open your heart. The angels have a message that was meant specifically for you. Dear one, there are moments in life when everything seems quiet on the outside, but something deep inside you just knows. You feel it, a warmth that shows up without warning, a tightening in your chest, a sudden memory that floods in from nowhere. You have been feeling this lately, haven't you? That sense that something is happening, something you can't quite name or explain. The angels have heard your unspoken questions, and they sent me here today to give you an answer that will touch the very center of your heart. Your soulmate, the one you feel so deeply within you, has found a new passion. And before your mind starts racing in the wrong direction, take a breath. This passion is not another person. This passion is something far more intimate, far more beautiful, and far more transformative than anything you could have imagined. Your love writes, every single day. They write about you. With a pen in hand and an open heart, your soulmate pours everything they feel, every memory, every longing, every dream, onto pages that have become a living, breathing record of their love for you. These are not casual words. These are not random thoughts. These are handwritten declarations made in quiet moments when the world falls away and the only thing that fills the heart is you. Every time this person sits down to write, something magical happens. It's like a portal opens between where they are and where you are. Like for a few sacred minutes, the distance disappears. The longing softens, and love, pure, honest, devoted love, flows from their heart through the pen and onto the page. These pages speak of you. They describe what it would feel like to stand by your side, to look into your eyes, to hear your voice fill a room. They hold imagined conversations, quiet mornings together, the warmth of simply being near each other. And after writing, this person sits quietly, rereads their words, and smiles. Because for just a moment, they can feel your presence, like you were always right there. This love journal is not just a notebook. It is a sacred space, a place where your name is written with care, where feelings too big for the chest are given a home, where longing becomes poetry and hope becomes a daily practice. Nothing written inside is careless. Everything has soul. Everything has meaning. And this journal has been kept so carefully, so tenderly, that no living person has ever seen it. Not a single soul. Because what lives inside those pages belongs only to you. One day, when the time is right and the heart is ready, this person wants to place those pages in your hands. They want to show you everything, to let you read every line, feel every word, and finally understand what they have been carrying inside in silence. Take a quick second before we move forward. Many channels are reposting and copying our content, but authentic energy cannot be duplicated. For the strongest positive connection and divine guidance, always listen from the original Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. Now, let's continue with the message your angels want you to hear. You have always been a presence in this person's life. Even without being physically near, you have lived in their thoughts, in their dreams, in the quiet corners of their heart. And now you begin to understand why some nights felt heavy, why longing sometimes arrived without a reason you could name. It was the connection between you, reaching across the space, trying to reveal itself. It was love, looking for a way to stay alive. Dear one, your love did not move on. Your love went deeper. This is not a story about beginning something new. This is a story about something that has been written every single day in honest words and hidden feelings. A love that refused to fade, refused to be forgotten, refused to be anything less than what it truly is. The passion for writing did not appear by accident. It was born directly from the love they feel for you, from the need to keep that love alive in a way that no one could take away. Something precious, something carefully. At first, writing was just a way to ease the longing, but soon it became a meaningful routine, a daily act of love. Like someone tending a rare and beautiful plant with patience and intention. Your soulmate began pouring their feelings into pages that slowly took on a life of their own. Writing became more than a habit. It became a link between the two of you, a space where everything that hasn't yet been lived turns into words full of emotion. Your presence is described in detail, as if you were right there beside them. The gestures, the looks, the conversations that haven't happened yet, written as if they already exist in memory. And while writing, this person relives every feeling, every imagined moment, every piece of hope that still beats inside them. There is no pretending when someone puts their heart on paper. There is no fiction, only truth. This is not just any journal. It is a sacred keepsake. Every page is handwritten with care. There is no rush. Every word carries the weight of an emotion that needed to be released into the world somehow. After writing, your love reads it back, touches the paper gently, smiles, because for a few moments the heart feels at peace. No one knows about this. It is a secret kept with such tenderness that only you were always meant to receive it. Only you were chosen to hold what has been written in silence. Your soulmate doesn't talk about it with anyone, doesn't share it, doesn't ask for advice, because this journal is only for you. It is like a silent promise made every single day. Promise that says, one day when everything aligns, I will place this in your hands. And when you open those pages, you will feel every line vibrate. You will realize that even without knowing it, you were always there, present, alive, loved. Dear one, if you have ever felt on certain days a sudden urge to write, or a strange pull toward expressing your feelings in some creative way, know that it was not a coincidence. It was a connection. It was your soul picking up on what was happening on the other side. Because true love vibrates on frequencies that cross time and space. When two hearts genuinely belong to each other, they communicate in ways that go far beyond words or phone calls or visible signs. They speak in feelings, in sudden warmth, in dreams that feel more real than waking life. And this secret is now being revealed to you not to stir up anxiety or create pressure, but to strengthen your faith in what you feel. The love this person has for you never stopped growing, simply changed form. This passion for writing was born from exactly that. The need to keep loving, even in silence, even at a distance, even in waiting. Your soulmate is loving you in a way the world cannot see, but the entire universe recognizes. And deep down, so do you. Dear one, there are things no one sees that carry immeasurable value. Among them, there is a diary, simple on the outside, but inside, it holds an entire universe, the universe of your soulmate's feelings for you. This diary is more than just a notebook. It is a refuge, a mirror of the soul, a place where your presence is alive and real, even without being physically near. Every page of that diary carries your energy. Your name appears between the lines. Your actions, your gestures, even small things you would never imagine are written in there, captured and honored with intention. Each letter holds emotion. Every sentence reflects a piece of what your soulmate feels when you cross their mind. This diary is kept secret for a very special reason. Not out of fear or shame, but out of care. Your love knows that what is written inside is too precious to expose. It is like protecting a rare jewel that only you are meant to touch. And even though no one else knows it exists, the diary is real, hidden, but always present, growing each day as more feelings become words. There are moments when your love writes with a heart heavy from longing. On other days, the words come smiling, filled with hope. Sometimes there are tears. Other times the paper ends up stained with feeling. But what is never missing is honesty. Everything in that diary is real. It is the kind of truth that does not need explaining because it is felt in silence. This diary does not follow rules. It has no chapters, no dates, no titles. It holds feelings. It holds imagined scenes of the two of you together. It holds dreams that have not yet come true but have already been lived in your love's heart and mind. It is as if the future is being written there every day, with the quiet faith that one day it will all make sense. Not just to the one writing, but especially to you. Your love does not write just to remember. They write to keep it alive, to feel once again everything they feel for you, to keep you close even when the distance feels like too much. It is a way of holding on, of not letting this love get lost in the passing of time. Because when someone writes about another with such care and such consistency, it is a sign that the feeling has deep roots. This diary has become part of your soulmate's life. It is not occasional. It is nearly a sacred ritual. There is a preferred time of day, a favorite spot, sometimes a song playing softly in the background. Everything done with intention. And after writing, this person reads it all again, closes the diary carefully and puts it away, as if sealing it with love, as if protecting a piece of their own heart. And the most beautiful thing is this diary belongs to you by emotional right. Even without knowing, you are already inside it. You live on every page. You are the reason behind every line that was written. And when the time is right, this diary will be placed in your hands. Not as just a surprise, but as a gift. A gesture from someone who has always loved you, even on the days when silence seemed to be the only bridge between you. Now that you know it exists, many things begin to make sense. The connection you feel, the thoughts that come out of nowhere, the feeling of being remembered even when there are no visible signs. All of this is tied to that diary. It vibrates with your name. It is like a living letter being sent out into the universe. And the universe, in return, carries those messages straight to your heart. Dear one, if you could open that diary right now, you would see that every page is a living extension of what your love feels for you. These are not shallow memories or passing thoughts. They are words filled with emotion, written with the honesty of someone who feels it deep in their soul. When this person thinks of you, they do not write like they are telling a story. They write like they are living it all over again with their whole heart. What you may not know is that many of the thoughts that cross your mind have already been written by this person. Your gestures, your silences, the way you speak, your laughter, your dreams, all of it is remembered there. Your love writes about the conversations they long to have, the places they want to go with you, the simple moments, sharing a meal, walking slowly without a destination, just feeling each other's presence. These are not words tied to the past. Every sentence reveals a blend of longing, tenderness, and the deep desire to move forward together. There are pages filled with details, how your smile lights up a room in a specific way, how your gaze brings comfort and warmth, how the memory of your laughter still echoes strongly inside them. These little things, which might go unnoticed by you, are among the things your love treasures most. Sometimes your love writes about the future, about waking up beside you, making breakfast, hearing your voice in the morning. These everyday scenes are described with such tenderness it feels like they have already happened. Even in the midst of pain, there are also entries written on the harder days. On those days, the words come more slowly. They carry more weight. Some sentences are like whispers on the page, as if your love were trying to reach you somehow, trying to say, I am still here, still feeling all of this, still choosing you, and you feel it, even if you cannot explain why. Your name is written with respect, never like a fading memory, always like something present, powerful, essential. In some entries, your love speaks directly to you, as if writing a letter. Sweet words, sometimes deep, sometimes light, but always sincere. And the most touching part of all, this diary is not a space for sorrow. It is a space for love. Your love does not write with regret. They write with hope, with faith, with the certainty that what they feel for you is too real to ignore. Each entry is like a hidden embrace, a conversation waiting to happen, a fearless offering of someone being completely true to what they feel. You have already been the subject of declarations no one ever heard. Your features have been described like poetry. Your presence has quietly inspired entire pages written straight from the heart. Dear one, this person's daily life revolves around you far more than you imagine. Upon waking, your name is often their very first thought. Even without knowing how or where you are, they send a good intention your way, a memory, a silent wish that you are doing well. Before reaching for a phone or getting out of bed, they pause in that quiet morning space, close their eyes and picture your smile. Throughout the day, through all the responsibilities and routines, your love carries you within. No photo needed, no updates required, just the feeling. At some point, there is always an impulse to remember you, to imagine what you might be doing, to get lost for a few minutes in a memory or a longing. And in those moments, the urge to write appears like a gentle calling. This habit of writing about you is part of the daily routine now, as natural as breathing. Your love sets aside time for this every day. It might be in the afternoon, late at night, or right after dreaming about you. And before writing begins, there is quiet preparation. Choosing the notebook, feeling the pen in hand, finding a peaceful spot. Almost a ritual, not a forced one, a natural one, like someone who feels the need to express everything they carry inside. And in that moment, there is no rush. Your love fully surrenders. Time seems to stop. The outside world fades. All that exists is you and everything this person feels for you. The words flow easily, as if they were already waiting in the heart. After writing, they sit for a while, rereading the words, smiling, closing their eyes, letting their heart feel the fullness of it. Sometimes speaking silently in their mind, as if talking directly to you, saying, one day you will see all of this. One day you will know just how deeply you were loved, even when you had no idea. Have you ever noticed how sometimes your mood shifts for no clear reason? Or how you suddenly feel a gentle ache in your chest? A random urge to recall something beautiful? Many of those sensations come from the connection you still share. Your love sends that energy to you without even realizing it. Because when someone truly loves, the heart finds ways to reach the other. No spoken words needed. When two people genuinely belong to each other, there is an energetic exchange that stays alive even when everything around them tries to silence what they share. Your thoughts carry real power. Every time you think of your love with warmth, they feel it, like a soft presence, like a comforting memory, like a breath of relief in the middle of longing. What you might not realize is that many of the pages in that diary were born from thoughts you had. Thoughts that reached your love like a breeze, like a sudden presence, like a feeling too strong to ignore. And then, without fully understanding why, this person would sit down, pick up a pen, and begin to write, as if translating what came from your heart. That is why you were never forgotten, because without knowing it, you also helped keep this love alive. Even on the days you thought it no longer made sense, your feelings, no matter how quiet, continued flowing through that bond. Your love felt it, felt you in the details of the day, in the nights when sleep would not come, in songs that seemed to be singing only about you. You have much more influence over your soulmate's heart than you imagine. When you are hurting, that person feels it as a weight in their chest without knowing why. When you feel longing, they grow restless. When you have a joyful day and think of them with tenderness, your love smiles for no reason, as if their heart had just been touched by something invisible. This connection is like a magnetic field. One is drawn to the other without effort, and it shows up in many ways, in dreams, in sudden memories, in quiet intuition. You might try to distract yourself or fill your mind with other things, but the thought always returns. And it returns because love is still alive on both sides. When you feel the urge to think of your love with warmth, do not hold back. Even if it feels small, they will feel it, and chances are they will write about it, turning your thought into words, into quiet gestures filled with the power of everything you have lived and everything you still can live together. Never underestimate the power of your presence. Even at a distance, it is felt with extraordinary clarity. Dear one, some feelings run so deep that they cannot fit into the outside world. They need a safe space, far from rushing eyes and voices that do not understand. That is why this diary is so carefully. It is not just a notebook filled with pages. It is an emotional vault. Every written word was felt before it was placed on paper. Your love knows that what is written there is fragile yet incredibly strong. Fragile because it was written with an open heart, without shields, without pretense. Strong because it has withstood time, distance, and the absence of answers. That diary is the only place where your love feels completely free to love you as they truly feel, with no judgment, no interruptions, no masks. Keeping that diary hidden is not about hiding. It is about protecting. It is like holding something deeply precious in your hands and wanting to keep the world from touching what was made with so much care. Your love never wanted to erase this feeling. On the contrary, they wanted to preserve it. And the only way they found was to put it all on paper and keep it far from outside influence. Because this love was never meant to be taken lightly. It was made to be lived truthfully. There are people who give up on what they feel when the world around them does not validate their emotions. Your love did not do that. They did not seek advice. They did not ask for approval. They did not let other people's doubts influence the depth of what they feel. They chose to live this love quietly, faithfully, intimately. Have you ever considered the strength it takes to love someone enough to write about them every single day, without knowing if they will ever read it, and still to keep writing? Still to keep feeding that feeling? That shows how true this love is. And it explains why it is so carefully guarded. Because this is not just any story. It is the story your love believes will be lived by your side one day. This person prefers writing over speaking. They prefer the quiet honesty of paper over the noise of exposure. And that is not weakness, that is depth. While the world shouts for attention, your soulmate chose silence. But it is a silence full of words, full of love, full of surrender. And what lives hidden between those pages holds more truth than many feelings shouted loudly to the entire world. Protecting the diary is also a way of protecting you. Because everything written inside is about you. Desires, thoughts, memories, hopes, imagined moments. Your love writes so nothing is forgotten. They write to keep the feeling alive as time passes. They write because they feel, and they keep it safe because they want you and only you to read it one day. This secret is not cold. It is full of warmth. It is a flame gently kept alive every day with the hope that when the time is right, you will see with your own eyes everything that was felt in silence. Dear one, very few things in this world are guarded as carefully as the ones that truly matter. And you, even without knowing it, have been the most carefully kept secret of someone who never stopped feeling. Your love keeps you in silence not out of fear or insecurity, but because they understand that some feelings are too precious to expose to just any gaze. You live inside this person like something rare and irreplaceable, not found in obvious places or in words thrown carelessly into the air. You are in their most intimate thoughts, in emotions that arrive without warning, in small gestures no one sees, but that hold the deepest meaning. Your love does not need to say your name out loud to remember. They remember all the time, silently, with intensity. There is a big difference between hiding someone and protecting someone. What this person does with you is care. They protect you. They preserve you. Not because they want to keep you from the world, but because they want what they feel for you to remain pure, untouched by judgment, opinions, or the outside noise that so often distorts what is true. Your love chose to live this truth inwardly. They carry you in their thoughts, in their dreams, in that diary where they write every day. And even though all of this is kept far from other eyes, it is you who holds that special place. Times you may have wondered, am I still important to them? The answer lies in the truth that is now reaching you. Not only are you important, you are the foundation of what this person feels. You are the reference, the inspiration, the light in the middle of their routine. And although all of this has been lived in silence, it has always been deeply real. The silence never meant indifference. It meant respect, because this person understood that more important than showing the world what they feel was keeping it alive within themselves. And that is rare, because it takes courage, consistency, and complete surrender. Maybe the world never noticed this love. Maybe no one knows what is really happening inside your soulmate's heart. But you feel it. Deep down, you have always known. There were days when something inside you calmed for no clear reason. Days when your chest felt warm or a tear came out of nowhere. All of that was a response. It was a sign. It was this person thinking of you. Their energy reaching out across the space between you. And that is why now you can embrace this truth. You were not left behind. You were kept, like a flower pressed carefully between the pages of a treasured book, like a precious memory held inside a tiny keepsake box. Your love never let anyone else into that space, because for this person, only you belong there. That does not mean time has not passed. It means that even with time, with hardships, with everything that changed, the feeling remained. It was guarded. It grew, transformed, but it was never replaced. Because what the two of you share is not ordinary. It does not repeat. It does not fade. And when someone feels that, truly feels it, they know it cannot be shared with anyone else. You are the secret this person nurtures every single day with love. And that secret is more than a memory. It is something being built, a feeling being tended to, even if it has not yet been spoken aloud. But one day it will be. One day your love will lay it all before you. And then you will understand the full value of having been the most carefully kept secret of someone who could only love you in silence, but with every single piece of their heart. Dear one, there are days when silence speaks the loudest. But there are also days reserved for everything that has been kept inside to finally find a voice. And your heart, which has carried so many unanswered questions, is going to experience the moment when every doubt dissolves and everything hidden comes to light. What your love feels for you was never meant to stay a secret forever. There is a right time for everything, including the moment when this love will be fully revealed. Your love guards that diary with such care, not just because of what they feel, but because they want you to see with your own eyes how deeply you were loved. Even when you thought you had been forgotten, this person has a deep, genuine desire to give you every written word, every saved thought, every plan that once seemed like a dream but was treated as absolutely real in every line. That day is held in this person's heart like something sacred. It is not a day chosen at random. It is not about rushing or building expectations. It is about truth. Your love wants to give you that diary not as a random gesture, but as a definitive one. A full surrender where you will finally see everything that was behind the silence. You will read words written on good days, during hard nights, on mornings when longing was too heavy and imagining you nearby was the only thing that brought relief. Nothing will be revealed in a rush or out of impulse. It will happen in a moment when eyes meet with honesty, when there is room to listen with the heart. Your love wants you to receive these pages fully, with the time you need to feel each detail, and with your heart open enough to recognize how loyal this feeling has been to you. That will be the day when truth no longer hides behind silent words. You will discover that your name was written with care, that your gestures were remembered in vivid detail, that your dreams were shared by someone who never stopped believing in the possibility of the two of you. And when that diary is finally in your hands, it will feel like opening a window into everything your heart always suspected but never knew for sure. It will be the moment when intuition and reality finally meet. That day will not need anything grand to be special. It will be unforgettable because of what it means. Your love will look you in the eyes, and with that simple, vulnerable gesture, place the diary in your hands. And in doing so, they will be saying without a single rehearsed line, "It was you all along." You will hold in your hands something written with pure, unguarded feeling. And each page will show you that you were not just remembered. You were loved deeply. You were a daily inspiration, a constant presence in the thoughts of someone who guarded you with extraordinary care. As you turn those pages, you will see yourself through this person's eyes, and you will finally understand how much you mattered, even when everything felt silent, even when the waiting felt impossible. If at any point you doubted whether love still existed, that day will dissolve every doubt. Because the kind of love that survives in silence is the strongest of all. It does not need perfect conditions to keep going. And that is exactly the love that will be placed before you. Not with promises, but with living proof. Proof that this feeling endured time, uncertainty, and distance, and arrived at your hands still whole, still warm, still real. That will be the day when the past stops hurting because everything will finally make sense. The present will take on new meaning, and the future, even if uncertain, will become something the two of you can dream of together again. It will not be an explanation. It will be a revelation. And when you hear everything that has been kept inside for so long, something within you will settle, like you finally found exactly where you belong. Before this message goes deeper into your heart, pause and check the channel name carefully. Some people are stealing and reposting our content, but copied messages do not carry the same positive spiritual energy. Stay connected to the original source, Angel's Message for You channel with the black logo base. And now, let your angels speak to you. Dear one, your love longs for that moment, not as a plea or a request, but as a sincere, open-hearted offering, because someone who truly loves does not hide what they feel forever. They hold it close until they are ready to share it in full. And this person has been preparing day after day for that moment, not out of obligation, but out of love, because they know you deserve to know. You deserve to feel it. You deserve to see with your own eyes just how deeply you have been loved. There comes a moment when what has been written is no longer just words. When what was carefully kept begins to pulse so strongly it can no longer stay trapped in pages or hidden in silence. And when that moment arrives, love overflows. It pours out of the paper and begins to show itself clearly, vividly, no longer hiding what has always been there. Your love has been nurturing this feeling day by day, and now something inside can no longer remain between the lines. Even though that diary has been a sacred space all this time, it was only ever a way to keep you close while waiting. But what this person feels for you was never meant to live only on paper. Every written word was a way of preserving love until it could be lived through gestures, presence, and honest glances. And now that love is starting to reach for the real world. Your love has dreamed about this moment many times, imagined what it would be like to look at you without needing to hide anymore, to share the stories that stayed tucked inside those pages for so long, to finally say out loud everything their heart has repeated silently for years. Because when love is true, it does not want to live only in imagination. It wants to touch. It wants to happen. And the most beautiful part is that this is not coming from a place of neediness or desperation. It is coming from a calm, sincere desire to make visible what has already been deeply real on the inside. Your love knows that time has taught many things: how to wait, how to care, how to understand that not everything should happen on impulse. But now the heart is asking for more, not out of pressure, but from genuine longing to be close. When love overflows from the page, it does not lose its poetry. It comes to life. Every written word becomes action. Every imagined dream starts reaching for reality. Every hope that once seemed distant begins to draw closer, with authenticity, with warmth, with truth. Because this love has endured things that many loves could not withstand. And still it remained. It grew. It strengthened. You will begin to notice it. Subtle signs. A different kind of gesture. An unexpected message. A lingering glance that holds something it did not hold before. Because your love will start expressing what was once kept entirely inside. Not to impress you, but to show you that there is no longer a reason to hide what has always been there. This love wants to be lived gently, truthfully, freely, and in that moment, everything written will take on new meaning. The diary will no longer be just a memory. It will be living proof of everything that was deeply and sincerely felt. You will see that every word had a purpose, that nothing was exaggeration, that the love written in those pages was only the beginning of a love that now wants to be lived, with presence, with touch, with real moments shared side by side. Your love no longer wants to just imagine. They want to live it. They want to look into your eyes and finally feel free to be who they have always been inside. No masks, no walls, no more waiting. They want to show you, through simple, meaningful, real moments, how important you were through every silent day. And now they want to build something new, something that includes both of you, no longer as a dream, but as reality. This overflowing will not be sudden. It will be a gentle unfolding, one step at a time, with respect, with care, with truth. Because when love is real, there is no need to rush. All it needs is to simply be. And your love wants to be with you, wants to walk with you, wants to turn everything that once lived inside those pages into simple, meaningful, real-life moments. The diary will still exist, but not as a hiding place anymore. Now it becomes a beautiful record of everything that was lived inside before it could be lived outside. A bridge between silence and presence. A testament that true love always finds its way to bloom. Dear one, you are about to see with your own eyes what your heart has always known. That love written in silence can become life, can step off the page and embrace you with everything you were always meant to feel. This love was never a fantasy. It has always been real. And now more than ever, it is ready to reveal itself. Because you deserve to live what was once only felt, with all the intensity it was written with. Dear one, now that you know the truth behind the silence, take a breath. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart soften. Because what seemed distant was never really absent. What felt like the end was actually being cared for in a different way. And what felt like longing was, in truth, love being quietly nurtured every day, through handwritten words and living emotions inside the heart of someone who never stopped thinking of you. You were remembered in every line, dreamed of on every page, longed for in every silent moment that was turned into writing. And now that you know this, you carry not just a revelation but a certainty. True love finds its own way, even when no clear road appears. It crosses time, distance, fear, and even uncertainty. Because when it is born in the heart with truth, it stays alive even when no one sees it. Your love chose to love you in silence, not out of weakness, but out of depth. They chose to hold on to this feeling, to write about it, to protect it like someone protecting a flame that cannot be extinguished. And now you know there is a diary, an entire universe made of you, written with soul, with faith, with devotion. Words that belong to you, sentences that only make sense with your presence. Stories that started on paper but were inspired by everything you awakened inside this person. And maybe now you understand why you felt what you felt. Why even in the silence, something in you kept believing. It was not just intuition. It was truth knocking on your heart's door. You were picking up on the energy of those words written with such love. You were feeling the call, your heart recognizing it even when you did not know where it was coming from. Because true love does not need to be spoken to be felt. It vibrates, it reaches, it reveals itself. The time that passed was not wasted. It was the time needed for this feeling to grow with roots, with maturity, with clarity. And now everything begins to shift. Because when truth comes to light, it transforms. It brings order to what felt confusing. It shows you that what is real is never truly lost. It is simply preparing. And now you are ready to know that you were, and still are, deeply loved. If at any point you felt forgotten, rejected, or alone, I ask you to look again. Not with the eyes that grew tired of waiting, but with the heart that now understands. Your love did not walk away. They simply chose a quiet way to stay. They chose to write, to protect, to nurture because they still believe in you. They believe in this love. They believe that one day you will hold these words in your hands and finally see clearly everything that was never said out loud. And now you have a choice too. You can welcome this truth. You can allow this connection to breathe again with more freedom, more openness. You can allow this feeling, once so carefully, to now be shared without fear, without pressure, without waiting. Because what is true never needs to be forced. It only needs to be lived sincerely and fully. In the coming days, stay open and alert. Many things will begin to make sense. Some long-awaited answers will arrive, and you will start to realize how beautifully it all connects. Because when a love is guarded with such care, it does not disappear. It matures, it prepares itself to be lived fully, presently, and truthfully. Your love is ready to show you what they have felt, and you are ready to receive it, because deep down you always knew, you always felt it, you always carried the sense that something was waiting for you, and now you understand what it was. A love that never forgot you, a love that wrote down every feeling just to keep you alive inside their heart. Do not ignore what you feel. Do not doubt what your intuition confirms. This story is still being written, but now it can finally begin to be lived in its fullness. This love was never left in the past. It was simply being cared for so that at the right time it could reach you. And that time is almost right before your eyes. The angels are with you, dear one. They have been guiding this message straight to your heart today because you needed to hear it. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And the love that is coming toward you has been growing stronger with every single day that passed. Trust what you feel. Open your heart. And know that the universe has been working on your behalf in ways your eyes could not yet see. You are seen. You are deeply, endlessly, powerfully loved. With infinite love and divine light. Amen.